Hey there. So this is your girl, Kisha Brown. I'm founder and CEO of Justis Connection, and justice is my jam, y'all. So on this episode of Legally Driven, this fabulous Black History Month, when Blackness is persevering in spite of and always has and always will, I want to touch on justice delayed, but not justice denied. Okay. You may recall the Brunswick, Georgia case of the murder of Ahmaud Arbery by a father-son duo and their neighbor, who were later convicted and sentenced to life in prison plus 20 years without parole. Okay? I won't get into the details of what they did to Brother Arbery, but they shot and killed him, obviously, and then did not, seek help for his injuries. And the judge, sentenced them accordingly. And in the process of getting to justice, the district attorney decided to speak directly with the defendants before they were even arrested, and was communicating with them improperly, and reached out to neighboring state's attorneys improperly in order to see if they would assist with the case, when you're supposed to go first to the Attorney General's office in Georgia. And so there were rules and regulations and laws that were violated in this process by the prosecutor on this case, right? And one of the things that we know is that even though you work for the government sometimes, and you're supposed to be working for the people, that some of these folks don't work for all the people all the time, right? And so there was a number of things that were improper by this prosecutor. And so in many aspects, the feds got involved. As we know, there was national attention on this case, and the state prosecutor has gotten involved to now press charges, right, against the prosecutor who had some malfeasance going on. And they have enough evidence to say, nah, we know you did something that was improper in possibly trying to prevent justice for Ahmaud Arbery, and possibly not just delay, but deny justice to this family whose son was murdered. And the role of the state prosecutor in being able to come into a local issue is critical, because oftentimes the locals all in the same cahoots. Come on, we know that. We know that some of these towns and some of these even big cities, everybody's in bed with everybody and everybody's working across departments, and not necessarily in favor and on behalf of victims. And so when the state prosecutor gets involved to say, hey, we're going to press charges against this, the Glynn County prosecutor, it shows the importance of having the right people in the right place. And I will tell you, here in Maryland, when I was Director of Legislative Affairs for the Maryland Attorney General, I worked with then State Senator Joan Carter Conway to create a new law on the books that empowered the state prosecutor to get involved in voting rights cases when there was improper action by someone in voting rights, that the state prosecutor, so people didn't have to go to their local county prosecutor to say, hey, this happened. And oftentimes, and I'll tell you, this happened on the eastern shore of Maryland, and the NAACP went to their local prosecutor, and the prosecutor was like, ain't no problems here. They tried to go to the neighboring county. There ain't no problems here. They all in cahoots. So we worked then to get the state prosecutor the right power so that they could get involved as a more neutral authority to have some control, or at least to have authority to intervene in and to take on these types of cases. So we got to remember, it's not just the laws that are on the books. It's not just the people in play, but it's also all of the various actors, right, whose responsibility it is to uphold the law. So shout out to A Better Glynn, who has been very vocal in making sure that Ahmaud continues to get justice, not just for him and his family, but for Black people in that county, right? For there to be known that you cannot just hunt down a Black man broad daylight and shoot him down and nothing happens. And that is essential, not just in the deep South. I actually grew up in Glynn County, nice known fact. So not just in the dirty South, but all over the country, right? And so that political pressure, that national pressure, that people pressure is what makes the system move. So that justice may sometimes be delayed, but it is by us putting the right pressure on the right people to make sure that it's not denied. This your girl. See you at the next Legally Driven.